Hi guys, welcome to the session. Today we are going to see more examples on loops and understand comprehensions in Python. For example, list, set, dictionaries. So let's get started. I have commented codes you for some problems so that I can code while explaining this. So when you are watching this, I suggest open Colab in your laptop and simultaneously while watching this, code with me. So the first problem is, given a list of numbers, find whether a given number is present in the list. So for example, here I have this list which has around 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to define another variable n, and I need to check whether this n is in this nums list or not. This is the problem. And to solve this, I have defined another variable called found, and I'm going to give this a boolean value. For example, let's say I want to find whether n equal to 2 is in this list or not. And we can see that, yeah, it's there. But we need to do this by looping over this list and checking whether this n exists in this or not. So for now, I'm going to say found is false. So the moment I find n is in this list, I will change this found to true. So, okay, now I need to iterate over this list of numbers. So let's say I say for num in nums. And we have seen that while writing for loop, I need to put a colon here. And I need to indent this with 4 space. See, this is 4 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I need to write logic here. I need to write logic here. If the number in the iteration is equal to the number to be found, so I'm going to check if n, okay, if num equal to n. If this condition satisfies, if num equal to n, I will say found equal to true. And then once I find it, I'm gonna break this loop because I have found it. And then I will print list contains this particular number. I'm using string formatting here. I'm writing what I want it to print, and I'm saying outside f. And this is, I'm going to pass here and what I wanted to find, and I'm going to say this value which will be true this time, so that my output will be list contains 2. Okay, instead of 2, let's say I say 4, so that you can see that it will say list contains 4 equal to true. So let's check now. So I hope you got this logic for this problem. Like, first I'm looping over this list and I'm checking for each element, and I'm checking if it is equal to n or not. And then once I see that it is equal to n, and then I change this found from false to true, and then I broke this loop. So this is how this first problem is done. Okay, let's go to next problem. Second problem is, given a list of numbers, print the sum of all positive numbers. So for example, I have this list and I need to give output like 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6, just 10 plus 2, 12, 13, which is the output should be 13. So how can I do this? I can just loop over and check each number. If it is positive, I will keep adding it. So initially I will say sum positives equal to 0. Initially it is 0, and then I loop over each number. I loop over each number for num in nums, and I need to check if num it is positive or not. So how can I check? Greater than 0. If num is greater than okay, but I'm doing some another way. Check if number is negative. So let's say I can do this another way also. If num is less than 0, I will skip that number. I will skip that number. And if it is not less than 0, I will increment this sum positives plus equal to num. So this is the logic for this. If number is 0 less than 0, skip this, continue, else increment this some positives by num. Either you can write it like this, or you can say equal to some positives plus num. This is another way. So let's check. So you can see the sum is 13. You could do it in another way also, either by adding with, like if you say if num is greater than 0, then you can just cut it and paste it. You can avoid this. This is another way also. Let's see. Else continue. Okay, this is also another way you can do this. Now let's go to another problem. Okay, now we are going to print this table. Print the table of any number using for loop. So what I can do is I can say accept a number using input method. So okay, I'm going to use input method, int input, and I'm going to say enter any number for the table. Okay, I'm going to take a number as an input so that I can print a table of this. So to do that, obviously I need to, if I want to print a table of from 1 to 10, I need to loop over from the range of 1 to 10. How can I do it? For I in range. And range takes start, stop, step, 3 values. So I will say start from 1, stop at 11 because I don't want to include 11. I want it up to 10. If I say up to 10, then it will not include 10. And step is 1 by default, so I'm not going to do anything. Now I'm going to print this table. So what it is taking, I'm using format method. This is another format method. So you can see that I have 3 curly braces. First curly brace is for 5 number, which is n, whatever I will take. And another is for I will go from 1 to 11, 1 to 10, obviously 1 to 10. This is for second curly brace. Third is its multiplication, which is n into I. So let's see. Instead of 5, I will take, okay, let's say 7 and press enter. And you can see that this is the table of 7. It is printing. See, just 3 lines of code, and you can see that I have this nice printed table of a number. So I hope you got this. Let's go to next problem statement. So till now we saw 3 examples of for loop. Now we will see while loop examples. Write a while loop statement to print the following series 105, 98. Okay, you can see that I need to print this series. And how much gap I have, you can see that I have gap of 7. So I'm going to start from 105. I'm taking this variable num. Now I need to check whether this number is greater than equal to 7 or not, because I'm going to stop at 7. So I need to keep my number greater than equal to 7. So I will say while num is greater than equal to 7. This is my condition. As long as this condition is true, my loop will keep running. And once this condition is not satisfied, it will exit from the loop. I will say print num. Print num. As long as this condition is true, print num and then decrement it. Num minus equal to 7. I will decrement it. So this is the logic. Now let's print this. You can see that it is working and it is printing up to 7 as we needed it. So now next problem, you are given a sentence. Display each letter of the sentence skipping the letters E and F. So I'm going to define a variable first so that I can use it for while loop. And this is the sentence on which I need to loop over to check. If the letter is not E and F, I'm going to print it, else I'm going to skip it. So how can I do this? Let me write while loop. While I need to loop over this string, and using while loop, I'm not going to use range. So how can I do this? I'm going to say length of sentence. So I'm going to loop over this string as long as I is less than the length of this string. So what happens is length of the string is usually one, like, in when we loop over, we start from 0. So it will go to length minus 1. That's why I'm saying here less than length, so that it's equal to length minus 1. And then I'm going to check if this sent I equal to string E or letter E in the form of string, or sent I equal to string F. If this condition is true, increment first, then continue. It means skip this. Else print current letter, print sent I, and after printing again increment, because you can't just go without increment, otherwise this loop will not terminate. This is the condition, and when you print it, it will print all the number, and there is no E and F in this output. You can see there is no E and F. So this is the problem. I hope you got it. You need to understand the problem statement. You need to display all letters except E and F. So first you need to write that condition which you don't want, and then skip this using continue, and then print else. Don't forget to increment, because if you remove this, it will not increment, and it will keep. So since first letter it will skip, but after like on second letter it will never end, because there is no incrementation. For example, let me show you. If I remove this and then I run this, it will not terminate unless I cancel it from here. It will keep going. See, unless my memory is full, it will crash. So I'm going to terminate this. Okay. Okay, I have terminated this. So you can see, that's why here you need to keep this. Next problem. Write a program to find the sum of the digits of a number accepted from the user. So for example, if my input is 222, the output is 6. So it will sum each number. Now, how can you do this? So first I'm going to accept a number using input method, which is int input, which we did earlier. Enter a number. This is the input. I'm going to set a variable to 0, which is remainder r. And I'm going to set variable sum, which is 0. Right now sum is 0. And this variable r is also 0 as remainder. Now I'm going to check using while that whether the number is not equal to 0. Because if number is 0, output is 0. While num1 is not equal to 0, as long as it is not 0. As long as the number is not 0, I will keep dividing the number by 10. Num1 plus by 10. And whatever the remainder will be, right now r is 0. Whatever the r will be, I will keep summing it with s equal to s plus r. This is how I will sum it. So for example, 222 divided by 10 is 2. So I will sum s equal to 0 plus 2. Again, I will take division by 10. Again, it's 2. 2 plus 2 plus 2. This is how it will work. And the moment my number is 0, after keep dividing it with by 10, the loop will exit. So this is how it works. And then again I'm going to do it floor division, perform floor division of number by 10. Why I need to do this? After getting this, I need to reduce my number also. Why? Because if I don't reduce it, it will keep summing it. So first what I did, let me show you. First, this is my first number. So first what I did, 2 to 2 modulo 10, which is 2. So right now my S is 0. S is 0, but after that I set plus S plus R, which is 0 plus 2. Now it is 2. Now I need to, my number is right now 222. I need to make it 22 again so that I can again do it modulo, because this is the first loop. So what I did, num1, I set num1 this by 10. So what it will happen, it will, because if I just divide it with 10, it will be 22.2, which I don't want. I want floor of it, which is 22. Because let me show you, if I do it this, it will be 22.2. So again I need to do it flooring, which is this. I want floor of it. Floor of 20.2.2 is, that's why I did double forward slash for floor. Now this is loop 1. I will do it again, and then it will become 2, and then I will do it again 3 times almost, and then it will be 0, and then it will exit from the while loop. That's how it is working. So let's say I say 222 just to show you. You can see sum is 6. If I say 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, it will be 9. That's how it is working. I hope you got this logic. Now let's see another problem statement. Nested for loops. So what I'm going to do here is, I have been given 2 lists, list 1, list 2. And I need to return all possible pairs of numbers in which the number from the first list is lesser than the number of second list. So for example, numbers from the first list is lesser than the number from the second list. So this 1 is greater than 0, so this won't be a pair. 1 will be with 5, 2, 8. So my first pair will be 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 8. And then again with 4, I have only 2 numbers here, 4, 5, 4, 8. So next pair will be 4, 5, 4, 8. And same, I will keep checking each number in list 1, and then check numbers in list 2, which is greater than the number from the list 1, and I make a pair of it. So that's what I want. And for that, I need to loop over 2 times here. So let's see how we'll do. List 1, list 2 is already given. I'm going to, since I need to make pair, I need an empty list where I can add those pairs. That's why I'm creating this result list. And then loop over for num1 in list 1. I'm going to iterate over list 1 first. And then again I'm going to iterate for num2 in list 2. So for each number in list 1, this is for loop, for each number in list 1, and for each number in list 1, I'm going to loop over the whole list 2. For num in list 2, check if first number is less than, if num1 is less than num2, then I'm going to append that num1, num2 pair in result dot append num1, num2. This is what I want. And then I'm going to run this. See, got the same output again. So this is how nested for loop works. So now let's see this problem. Given a matrix of numbers, return a new matrix by multiplying the original number with the place value tens for first row, 100 for second row, and so on. So what it is saying is, let's say I have this matrix, and let's say I have right now two rows. So first row I need to multiply with 10, second row with 100. If there is a third row, multiply it with 1000, and so on. This is the problem statement. So how can we proceed this? I'm defining a variable I'm equal to 1 here, so that I can multiply it with 10, and using a loop it can keep multiplying itself. First with 10, then 100, 1000, automatically it will go on. So what I need to do is I need to first loop over the length of it. Why? Because I need to count how many rows are there. How will I do it? Because since I have separated each list by comma, so it is acting like each element. Each this list is like an element in this list, so it is a nested list. So I will say while iterate the range of the length of list. Iterate through the okay, I'm going to use for loop here. For I in range, length of nums. I will loop over the length of this nested list, and then I will say increment I'm multiplying with 10. I'm equal to m multiplied by 10. Now if there are two rows here, this for loop will multiply first m with 10, and then m will be 10, then it will be 10 into 10, 100. So it will automatically do it for me. As many rows I have, if there is third row, it will go 3 times and it will become 1000 for the third row. Now for each row, I need to multiply this m with each element. How will I do this? For j in range of length of nums I. So what is nums I here, which is this list? And I said range of length of this list, which is length is 2. So range of 2, which will go 0, 1, 2 times. And for each of them, I am saying nums I, which is nums I is this list. And then in this list, I will say j, because j will go from 0 to length of nums I, which is 2, 0, 1. So I will multiply with it, each element by m. That's it. That's the logic. Now let's see print nums. You see it multiplied first row with 10, just 10, 20, and second with 100. Let's I say here 5, 6, and it will become 5000, 6000 according to my logic. See, this is how it's working. I hope you got it, guys. Let's go to one more problem on this. This was a problem for nested for loop. Okay, now we have one more example, nested while loop. Print the prime numbers between 2 to 1000. So this is a little bit complicated, so I request you to write down logic on paper if needed to understand this. So first I'm going to set one variable I equal to 2, because I need to start from 2. And I'm going to apply a while loop. And that while loop will go as up to like below 100. So I will say while I is less than 100, because I need prime numbers between 2 to 100. While I is less than 100, right now I is 2. And I'm going to set another variable so that I can keep dividing it with I to find the logic for whether it's a prime or not. So I'm going to set it 2 right now. Now I'm going to check whether j is less than or equal to I modulus I divided by j. Why this thing I need to do? Why I need to do this logic? While a j is less than equal to I divided by j, so that I can check its remainder. If it's not 0, I will break out of the loop. and I will simply go for the my final condition. So I'm going to check here first while j is less than equal to I divided by j. So let me first write the code. I will show you how it's working also. So if not, if its remainder, if the remainder of I modulus j is not 0, then simply break out from here. Else increment it by 1. And now I need to write final condition. If j is greater than I divided by j, print this is prime, and then increment I by 1. Let me check first the logic. Okay, it's working. Okay, so let's see the condition, what's going on here. Let's take some test cases. First is I is 2. So what's happening here? It is checking first. 2 is less than 100, which is true. So, and j is 2. So it is checking while j, which is 2 less than equal to 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So this condition is false here. So this part will not go on. This part will not go on. I will come directly to if j is greater than I divided by j. This is 2 greater than 1, which is 2 greater than 1. So this is 2 greater than 1, and then it will print I is prime. So we saw that 2 is prime, it is printing, and then it is incrementing I by 1. Now again I is incremented. So I is incremented, and then now it will be 3 is less than 100, which is true. 3 is less than 100. So j is still 2 because j never got incremented, because this, unless this inside while loop is running on, j won't be incremented. So now this condition will be while j is less than equal to I divided by j, which is 2 is less than equal to 3 divided by 2, which is again false. Again this will not run, and then we will come to if 3 is greater than I divided by j, which is true. No, sorry, if 2 is greater than 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5, which is still true. So it will say print I is prime, 3 is also prime, and then again I will be incremented. Now this time I will be 4 here. 4 is less than 100, okay, true. J is still 2. While j is less than equal to 4 divided by 2, this time this loop will run, and then it will check. It will check. If not I modulus j, I is 4 right now, modulus 2. 4 modulus 2 is actually 0. If not this, which is false, this is condition doesn't work here. Why? Because this is 0 already. Okay, so if condition is not satisfied, and then it will simply go to j equal to j plus 1. J will be incremented this time, and then it will check this. After while loop, it will check if j is greater than this, 2 greater than 2, which is not true. So 4 is not prime this time. It will increment again I, because I is going to increment it every time. So this is how this condition is working. So guys, just I will say that for each I, run the logic, write code here, what it is going on for every loop, so that you can understand this, how this is working. Why this while condition is taken while j is less than equal to I divided by j, so that it can check this modulus and increment j if needed. So that's it guys.